countries and organizations around the world are sending cash and supplies and providing other assistance to Nepal in the aftermath of the devastating flood. The Singapore Red Cross is pledging $50,000 in aid to support response efforts and is also launching a fundraising appeal tomorrow. Its CEO and Secretary General Benjamin William joins us now. Benjamin, good to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what are the most urgent needs on the ground right now, and where can Singapore make the most difference?
So I was speaking to some of my partners on the ground, of whom we have a lot, and the devastation they describe is almost as bad as the devastation after the Nepal earthquake about 10 years ago. That's how one of my partners described the devastation. So first of all, there's the need for temporary housing, and therefore with the temporary housing comes all the basic necessities like sanitation. Now, our partners have described how the wall of water swiped away everything. It's not only the bridges, but the public utilities, the medical facilities. So right now, the focus is on, yes, search and rescue, but a lot of the humanitarian actors who don't have that heavy equipment are focused on providing the basic necessities for those who have been rescued and those who are trapped but have lost all their housing in the waters.
So as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the infrastructure has been destroyed. So how difficult is it right now for help to reach the affected areas?
So it's extremely difficult. So my partner described, I was talking to her this afternoon, and she said that almost every bridge in the Rasuwa and Boti Koshi area had been swiped away by the waters. So there are many isolated pockets of people who have not been able to be reached. So the devastation might be even worse as the news comes through. So what they are trying to do is to use the local representatives that they have worked with to try and reach out to them. Unfortunately, the communication lines are also down. But this is something that they will have to continue to do. Now, the only authority that's been able to reach these isolated communities is the military, the Nepal military with their helicopters. Most of the helicopters have been requisitioned by the government, which is fair. But I think as the waters recede, I think more and more the humanitarian actors would be able to access these areas. And the devastation they expect to see is frightening. Yes.
And speaking of the access that you might get after that as well, are you considering deployment of any personnel from the Singapore Red Cross to the site itself?
Yes, we are. In fact, we have already started to mobilize our trained volunteers and prepare them. But this is a situation where we don't want to send a group of volunteers there who are unable to handle the search and rescue operation. This is very specialized. So it is likely that we will deploy this team slightly later because the needs will be ongoing for quite a while, whether it is water and sanitation, whether it's homes, temporary homes, housing, and even medical facilities. So we expect a team to be involved more in the next stage of the operations.
So let's talk about that longer-term support and relief. What happens after the immediate needs of rescue and relief are met? How do you support the communities there in a longer recovery?
Okay. So for right now, our focus is on the immediate need. We need to make sure that those who have survived the waters are able to survive because this is a water disaster. And one of the biggest jeopardy of a water disaster is there's always waterborne disease that follow. So we have to prevent that. So that's our priority now, the food, water, drinkable water and things like that. Now, if we are able to raise funds beyond what is needed for the relief efforts, then we will work with the communities and partners on the ground to do some of the rehabilitation work. For Singapore Red Cross, our main focus normally is on community projects rather than individual homes. So our focus will be on like replacing medical facilities or schools or things that will benefit the community. But a lot will depend on how much resources we are able to garner.
So tell us more about how, as Singaporeans, we can help as well. You're planning to launch a fundraising appeal tomorrow, if I'm not
So
mistaken.
actually we are ready. We have sent out the links, but tomorrow morning people can start to donate. We want to encourage Singaporeans to stand with the affected communities after this massive tragedy. They are really in need of help. So if you can, please come forward, support with your cash donations. I think the Singapore Red Cross undertakes to ensure that your donation will go a long way and maximize the use of your donation to not only provide relief assistance, but perhaps even rehabilitation.
Benjamin, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your thoughts with us.
My pleasure.
That was Benjamin William, who is CEO and Secretary General of the Singapore Red Cross.